Welcome back to the Music Making Mindset. Molly Keane, she's coming at you. We've got another podcast for you today, and we're going to talk all about stagecraft when performing. Come on back, we'll get into it. Ozzy and I last night, right, we were looking at, because Ozzy's my son. He's 19, by the way. And we realised I've only taken him to like 1 or 2 gigs. And you know who's coming to Brisbane soon?
Who?
The Foo Fighters are coming out to Brisbane. So we're talking about taking him to the Foo Fighters at Brisbane at the end of the year, which I really want to do. Tickets pretty expensive, Foos, in case you're watching. Dave, can you sort us out a couple? Anyway, just kidding. Listen, and I was talking to Ozzy, and we both said, if you watch the Foos play, there is movement, there is energy. It's not just, they're friggin' good musos too. And I think this is why we're doing this one. I've been to a lot of concerts with great musicians, but they're as boring as batshit to watch. Do you know what I mean? It's a show, bro, right?
Yes.
It's a show. Yes. Give me something to watch. You sound good, but I've got these 2 things. I'm using these.
Yes.
I've got 2 of these.
Yeah.
And I just think stagecraft is so important. And it's one thing that young musicians develop over time, and it is imperative.
Yes.
So talk to me, stagecraft.
Totally. I think as a singer, you get a really interesting perspective on it because you're singing lyrics, you know, and so I'm always so aware that I'm telling the story, you know, literally. And I think for me, what I have learned is my favorite performances that I've watched is when you feel that the band or the artist on stage has said, hey, so happy you're here, come on this journey with me. Don't just watch me play on the stage. I want you to be on this journey with me.
Yeah.
And I think the way that I feel you can do that as a performer is if you want the audience to connect with you, I think it's important that you take the first step in letting your guard down and welcoming them in and being open and being vulnerable and how much you choose to share. Like, I don't mean being vulnerable in saying things you don't want to say. I mean eye contact and, you know, really, really telling the story. Maybe that's through your body language, maybe that's through your facial expression, and it can feel really weird. Yeah. It can feel over dramatic, it can feel really uncomfortable, especially, you know, if you're doing it before there's an audience in the room and you're just on stage and you have to be walking around and it feels, I feel really awkward doing it. Yeah. But I think that, you know, if you're going for it, then the audience trusts you. If you're tentative and unsure, then the audience might feel tentative and worried for you and like, oh no, we just want them to be okay. So
and they can tell, like this, you mentioned a couple of things. If you're telling a story, you can do that through connection. Yeah. You can do that through your performativity with your musicianship, right? Yes. How you play, how you sing helps tell the story. But you can also do it by embodying movement and enticing the audience to come into that world.
Totally.
Now, that context is everything, right? Like, imagine you're doing this, you're at this wonderful little folk indie gig, you know? Then you're at Andre Rieu concert with classical singers and cellists and like very different stagecraft. I watched the Netflix documentary last night about the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh.
Now, and it was talking about how Flea, the Aussie bass player, by the way, and the singer became mates at school. And I was just absolutely blown away at how outgoing they were with their physicality and how they played when it was just something that was natural to them from the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when people went to their shows, they were kind of this quasi-punk band when they started out, but their physicality, it just represented their music, and their shows, they became so popular because their shows were so impactful on people.
Yes.
Stagecraft is so powerful in that way.
Absolutely, and I think it's you can play the notes perfectly and your pitch can be perfect and your rhythm can be perfect, but I think the job is to tell the story of the music, and the most impactful performances are when you feel like you're just completely wrapped up in it and you can't possibly think about anything else. And the way to do that is through stagecraft.
So how do you develop this? Like, a couple of questions. One, let's say you're a little passive person.
Yes.
But you want to be a singer, you know you've got to learn stagecraft, you know you've got to connect with the audience.
Yeah.
Like I've known some performers who tell me that they look at the top of the heads, they don't look at people's eyes in the audience. And that helps them not feel like people are staring but they're still connecting. I don't do that because I like to, when I play, I'm quite passive and anxious, but I actually like to engage and feed off what people are doing, and that helps me feed off it. Do you know what I mean? But how do you develop that skill if it kind of isn't in there? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's just practicing it. And that might be like when I was little at home, I'd probably pretend to sing, on a big stage in front of my mirror.
There you go.
Like going full out. And you could watch videos of artists performing and see what they're doing and try and apply those things.
I worked with NXS, right, and I was very lucky to do that. And Michael Hutchence told me that he watched Morrison from The Doors and Mick Jagger from The Stones. If you think of Michael Hutchence and you think of those two, he kind of moved a bit like those two guys, you know what I mean? And he kind of, and he was definitely his own person. He definitely was his own identity, but you take influence from others and you can create this identity. And so I actually think acting skills are really cool to have. And you can develop that by going in music theatre shows. Like I was in all the school musicals. So you can actually be Molly Keane, the lovely academic passive person, but when you get on stage, you could be a pocket rocket because I'm an actor now.
And it definitely, for me, performing feels really empowering. And I think that's why I loved it so much, is because I felt like I could go on stage and I could be fierce and I could be, who I wanted to be.
What a great word, fierce.
Yeah.
I can be fierce if I want to.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's really, really powerful. And if you are thinking about performances that you find really engaging, for me, that's like seeing people go full out confidently and I'm just like, whoa, that's amazing, rather than, even if you feel shy or you feel like, I'm not sure, this feels a bit like, a bit scary.
Yeah.
If you just look like you know what you're doing and you're being really confident, it'll look amazing. And doing the bigger movements, if you're on a bigger stage and all those, all those things that can feel quite dramatic.
Let's go there. I mean, there's some people that, like, okay, Michael Jackson seemed a very reclusive, quiet, shy person, but you put him on stage, he was like boom, he was like moonwalking. A lot of people were copying what he was doing. Another great example is Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil. 6'6", bald nugget, do you know what I mean? And the whole stage for the Oils, Rob Hurst, rest in peace, brother. The drummer from the Oils recently passed away. But if you watch the Oils and Peter Garrett, his stagecraft is incredible. No one moves like Peter Garrett. He looks like this big praying mantis, but he's moving across this whole empty stage, and he fills the stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's got this presence, and
I think presence. I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
Presence, I think, is so important because other artists might, their set might be standing with a guitar at a mic stand the whole time, but if they have amazing stage presence and they might not be dancing, but they're full out and committed and engaging with the audience, then you might not be able to look away. And that might be a completely different production to, one that involves dancing and all those kinds of things. So I think they can be different, but the impact can be the same.
And I think it can be many of you have to work this out for yourself. I think it can be an extension of who you are. Or for me, it was, what role am I turning my act into right now? I had to flick a switch and act, because if it was the real me, we'd be all hugging trees on stage, and that's not very exciting. But you know what I mean? Like, and Peter Garrett, like, he's a highly intelligent human being. All of the oils highly intelligent, and quite a wonderfully softly spoken man as well. You see him on stage and how he sings, it's very different to that.
Yeah.
You've obviously had vocal lessons, right?
Yes.
Did you have movement lessons?
Well, I mean, I think that can come up in singing lessons.
Yeah.
And also I did musical theatre when I was in school, and I did like youth acting.
Yeah. So in school
stuff.
with music theatre, you would have done dance routines.
Yeah, but
there's
I do love moving and grooving and all those
Come on,
things.
at school, didn't you do like bloody barn dancing and all that?
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And that all
Yes.
counts, I reckon. That all counts.
No, totally.
And if you work out, hey, I haven't got much rhythm, you either work out how to get rhythm, or you just work out what your thing is.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I'm
Totally.
going to use another example. I hope he doesn't get at me for this. Go and watch Jimmy Barnes live. Jimmy has a specific persona of how he sings. He holds the mic in a certain way, and he kind of has his arms down, and he has this stage presence of how he sings. And he kind of does this a lot, but that's him. You know what I mean? You watch Ian Moss play the guitar. You watch all these guitar legends play their guitars in different ways, and the identity they have, and their iconic identities that they've developed. I work with some guitarists who actually physically practiced in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Watching themselves.
Totally.
As a vocalist, same deal?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Even just the other day when I was practicing my conducting, I was doing that in the mirror to make sure that it was helpful. You know?
And do you embody the lyrics if you're doing movements, if you're saying, I told you, and things like that represent the lyrics?
I think so sometimes. I think I try to do what feels really natural and not force it. And sometimes that might be doing that, and sometimes it might not be.
Because they can tell, the audience, if you're forcing it.
Yeah.
It just needs to feel like, this is just real.
Yes.
And I want to be a part of that.
Totally.
And that's what stagecraft is.
Yes.
It's like, it's almost the last thing that musicians seem to work on. But for me, if I go to a gig, it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear a performance which is reasonably good, but a fantastic show.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, it's so important. I don't mind if you miss a couple of notes and you miss a beat. If the show's awesome, and I'm pumping and vibed, or I'm chilled and relaxed, or that's why people pay the money to go to a show.
Absolutely. And to feel, I think stagecraft is the really important piece of the puzzle about communicating the message of the story. And so in your stagecraft, you can make decisions about, okay, what's the vibe of the music that I'm going to be playing, and what is the message that I want to be conveying? And that might lead you to do a really, really big production that involves, lots of dancing or lots of lights doing this, or it might lead you to think, okay, this is going to be a sat down acoustic set because that's what's appropriate. I don't need to be dancing for this acoustic ballad,
And so when you're plotting your run sheet for the gig, this song, you'll be planning your movements, your vibe, the energy, the lighting, the whole thing. Now, I know you've been involved in a large production at the end of your uni degree.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was actually with a lot of other people too.
Totally.
How did you negotiate the collaborative activities of what we're trying to achieve here as a collective group with stage presence in that group? Like, did you have, what did you do there for all the different personalities? And
Totally. Well, it was really understanding that we were going on as a band, and then if somebody was taking the lead vocal, say, for a specific song, how can we support them to do that? And, the focus needs to be on them, but we are still providing the support.
How do you communicate about that stage presence?
Totally, yes. I think that's one of my favourite things to watch is when you see a band interacting, because to me it feels like I'm watching something unfold in real time. Like if you're seeing, you know, the bass guitarist and the drummer look at each other and do this like big crazy whatever, it feels so special because you've just watched two people communicate without saying anything and amazingly, you know, achieve something. And so I think when you're on stage as a band, not only for the music is it important to do that, for the audience it puts on a really good show as well. So I think encouraging people in your band to have their eyes up and to not be in their own world, just focusing on their part, eyes up, looking at all of the musicians, making eye contact with everybody in the room, signaling when things are happening, just communicating. Like, just communicate on stage, and it's amazing when you watch bands doing that.
Not only does it help the musicianship, which you said, the musicality, if you're looking and you're vibing and you know you're embodying where it's supposed to be, the rhythm section or the guitarist or whatever, but it's also, as you said, it's not just engaging the audience, hey, come and welcome to my world. We're in this world together.
Yeah.
If I'm just sitting here and going, this is where I'm at and this is me, you lost me.
Yeah.
And the music will probably sound less professional as well.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's connection.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like seeing that amazing connection and seeing the collaboration happen unfold on stage, I think
and
is
that's
so
exciting,
cool.
right? Because that also means
exciting.
that you can't really rehearse that other than I'm going to engage with this person.
It could be like similar to if you're watching a sporting team and you see them like, you know, yelling at each other to do a specific play or whatever, and then they achieve that play. That's a really exciting thing to see.
Absolutely.
And you're kind of seeing, it's the same thing of where, especially if you're doing a live gig, we're on the stage, we have to be on the stage right now, the gig is happening, the train's left the station, we're in it, and it's going to be what it will be. But we need to communicate with each other to make sure that we ride the train safely to the end. And I think it's so cool knowing that, you know, this is something that exists only in this moment and we're doing it right now, you know?
Two more things. One, facial expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Come on,
use
do
them.
you skank face?
No. I don't have a good one.
You know what I mean? Like, but you could, if that's the world, you gotta have that.
This is what I think.
Yeah.
If you're seeing the musicians and the band allow themselves to feel the music, then I think it invites the audience like, hey, you can let your guard down too and you can feel the impact of the music as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to be cool, calm and collected right now.
And I think the key is to not overtly rehearse these things. It's just do what feels natural, but just be a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more animated.
Animated.
In what it is that you are feeling as you're playing. Like for me, I just did it then. Oh, there it is. That's it. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
And I often close my eyes because I just love to go within. But I can still close my eyes and then look at the drummer and play bass, or I can still play keys and flick my hair in the wind. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're talking about.
Totally. Yeah.
Last thing, stage presence. I think there's massive importance on talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Inviting them with a dialogue.
Yes.
And it goes past. This next song is a little song I wrote about Billy Bob across the road.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Enjoy. Yes.
Hope you like it. It goes a little something like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like you got to have that, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a song which has got deep meaning, and but you got to have a dialogue with the audience.
And I think viewing your whole set with the dialogue as part of the whole show, like you're putting together a production and a show, and that's such an important part of it. And I think it's important to be real and authentic. And it's good to practice that, I think, in rehearsals. So especially so you all know when the dialogue is going to happen, like in between what songs and is the band playing underneath you, whatever. But I think it's also really important to be authentic and real. And it could be rehearsed dialogue, but just, I would say, make sure you deliver it in a way that sounds not rehearsed because people can
Let's bring in the final link. Authenticity is what Molly's saying, right?
Yeah.
Which means connection to your artist identity, who you are, what you're putting out to the world. This is who I am. This is what my music represents. Even if it is commercialized pop, whatever, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And so my dialogue and the way we use stage presence and the way we communicate is all informed from that identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people will get it.
Yeah.
And they'll go, yeah, I want to be part of that community.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, I don't really like that. So, but that's still controversial, which is fine because it's all publicity anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're linked to your artist identity, it actually really informs something real.
Totally.
As opposed to, I'm just putting on a show and I'm going to do lots of silly stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some classic examples of people. I love watching Esperanza Spalding. She's a jazz singer. Have you watched her?
Yes.
And since you mentioned Ray the other day, I can't stop listening to Ray.
She has a new album coming out.
Has she?
And there's a collaboration with Hans Zimmer.
OMG.
Yeah. Which,
gotta love Hans Zimmer, gotta love Ray, and if those two are working together, are you serious?
well, that's what I've seen.
But
I
like,
could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
Let's go. Like all these people have this authentic artist identity of who they are. They might have some similarities, but the crux of who they are is known.
Yeah.
And that informs what they do. Hans Zimmer is a great example. Talk about the wonders of doing simplistic things. Talk about stage presence for Hans Zimmer. Let's just quickly go there. Some of his musical scores, and he's known for this, like the one for Interstellar, dun 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 dun. It loses it's 4 friggin' notes, I think, bro. But then he supports it with this expansive, massive, world's biggest church organ. You know what I mean? Or he gets 10 drummers to play. So his music, if you go to a Hans Zimmer stage production, it's this massive event.
Yeah.
And that's his identity. That's his identity of this huge, wonderful, wonderfully connected musical experience to movies on a large scale. And he has cellists and he has a whole band and 2 drummers and just amazing. But that's connected to Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
And if you can do that on stage, people will love you for it. They want to be part of your community.
And I think the exciting thing as well about being on stage is you can just have fun with it and have a play. I think the really cool thing about music is that we literally get to play and experiment and, you know, when you're on stage, it's so wonderful to see people just having fun and being, you know, connected to what they're doing.
I think a lot of people get worried that they're not a good enough player before they perform. And I just want to tell you out there that, I think performance skills are really important. They really are. But you can play a live show and put on a great show and provide and be an average. I'm not a great bass player. I can play bass and I've done shows on bass. I'm not a great keyboard player, but I can play keyboards and put on a great show. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I can tell you Hans Zimmer's the same. He is a fantastic composer, a wonderful musician. But if you put him on the piano, he can play, sure. Is he amazing on the piano? No. But he can still put on a hell of a show. And that's the key. Don't let that hold you back. Put on a show, put yourself out there, get a theme, become the artist, do the work in the mirror, do movement if you need to. Get feedback on your show.
Get feedback.
Collaborate with others.
Yeah.
Work out your identity.
Yeah.
Don't let fear hold you back.
Yeah.
Don't let fear hold you back. And
Life
if you see
is
people,
too short.
Yeah.
If you see people who, you know, I have friends who are so amazing at walking across the stage and they do it much more comfortably than I do.
Yeah.
So using the peers that you have around you and saying, hey, could you show me how you do that?
How do you do that?
You know, do you have any tips on how to do that or whatever it is? Can also be really helpful.
You know, like last person, John Farnham.
Yeah.
An iconic Australian singer. If you haven't checked him out, probably one of the greatest singers I think I've ever heard. His stage show, all he worked on, he's a phenomenal singer too, by the way. So live, he's incredible vocally, just incredible vocally all the time. But if you watch him on stage, he walks across and he's just an everyday Aussie bloke. You know what I mean? And that's what he gets. Yeah, he points to the crowd. He goes, yeah, friggin' yeah, let's go. And that's what he does. And that's his stage presence. And Australia loved him for it, just loved him. But his show had that connection to the Australian public. You know what I mean? And we all felt like John Farnham was our brother. And it was, we're also connected to him when he came out. Massively huge in this country, an amazing talent. And I went to a few of his shows, and all he did was let us know how much he felt connected to us as Australians.
Yeah.
And that meant so much.
Yeah.
You know, it really does.
Connection.
If you can touch people like that, right?
Yeah. Human connection.
Music.
Be you.
Music, man. Gotta love it. I just got goosebumps thinking about those concerts that I went. See, and that's the thing. If you go to a gig and if you put a gig on and people can leave your gig with these feelings, they will remember it forever.
Yeah.
These are the, you know, I went to Billy Joel, same thing, saw him. Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible performer.
Yeah.
You know, crazy.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you got heaps out of that Stagecraft. Get into it. Make it happen for yourself. We have mentors at the Music Maker Mindset to help you talk about your Stagecraft. If you want to get to know us and have a chat about it, jump online. We'll sort you out with something. Anything that can help you out. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time.